Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? It's Sammy Legger here representing TeamJVS. Here you guys, another review from Tiff 2024. I'm talking about ick. Yes, that is the word, ick. Ick is a substance that is attached itself to a town that I think preys off of the misery and the lacking and the remorse and the guilt that is festered over the town, and it's attached itself, like, think of it like a symbiote. That has just continuously grown, and now it is out of control. Now, we almost called it the symbiote. The ick showed up 20 years prior, and it showed up close to the main character, which is Brandon Routh's character's Hank's football field, and it made its aggressive debut during one of the most emotionally unfortunate times of his life, because everything changed from that point. Now, Hank was a character that, for the most part, like, was a jock. He had everything going for him. He had aspirations. He had the girlfriend. He had the hair, all of it, right? And all of a sudden, tragedy hit him. And from that point, his life effectively went down. And years later, the love of his life, played by Mina Suvari, she's happily remarried and she's living her best life. And he is kind of working initially as a custodian, now as a teacher, and it's not the life that he initially chose. But yes, that is the backdrop of this. But let me go over some of the actors and actresses. And you got Melina Wiseman, of course, Brandon Routh, of course, Mina Suvari. You've also got Marianne Gavello. You've got Talia Sophia, and a slew of other pretty good actors and actresses in this that are up and coming. This film, it is a horror comedy drama. And I mean that in the most respectful way. I saw this at one of the Midnight Madnesses. This film honestly balances going back and forth from being a straight up comedy, because it may be all of a sudden like somebody is like dying or about to die, or the ick has got them. And then all of a sudden it kind of breaks into its comedic flair. And it also is a kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of like caricature of how people 20 years ago were, how they were as far as relationships and like approaching communication as far as young people to present day young people and what they do, whether it's partying, whether it's communicating, like they play off of that. Matter of fact, a lot of the more gruesome and action-packed moments take place in parties when kids are all around and, they're trying to make it, whether they're drinking, whether they're doing drugs, or whether they're doing sexual acts, whatever it is happening while everything is going crazy. And so it's very interesting to see how some of those things play out. I think that as far as the horror aspect of it, that lends itself to being very gruesome, and it's very fun because at any given moment, it might just get really dark and you just don't suspect it. And then I think the other side of that is where the comedy comes in, where it looks like it's about to be dark and then they're joking, or they're like, I don't want to do this. Because there's also some very interesting bad blood and a lot of dissension going on between certain characters. More specifically, Melina's character and Hank's character, Brandon Routh's character, Hank. Grace is a person that is very inquisitive. She knows a lot about the ick and nobody's listening to her, but she's also very much so a teenage girl that's trying to live her life and doesn't want to be told what to do. So I think that Melina and Brandon have great chemistry. I wanted to see a little bit more time with Brandon and Mina because of certain circumstances in the film. I think that was like a lost opportunity, in my opinion. But I do think what they did is they catered to what the movie was supposed to be about, is the grotesque comedy flair and just seeing where things are going to go. And you're continuously watching this because you're like, I don't know how this is going to end. I don't know what's going to happen here. And I think that even in the third act of this, I was thoroughly entertained because I just was intrigued to see where it was going to go. Now, I do think that there was absolutely corny moments. I do think that the pacing was off kilter because it just seemed so unbelievable at times. And I think it just wasn't something that I felt very entertaining, but it was also something that I felt like was something that I would watch again at home at any given time, or if it was on Netflix, I would definitely go and watch it with a significant other. And I think that is what the movie knew what it was going to do. It was, the intention was to give you something that was entertaining, but at the same time, engaging. And even if it was stupid engaging, or if it was heartfelt engaging, even if it was like I don't want to say what I was going to spoil. But again, when the ick starts moving, it does a lot. And I think they do a good job with some of the practical effects as far as the gory side of it. But then sometimes overuses of VFX that I thought was crazy over top. Like some of the VFX was more than I felt like even with some of the Venom films have done. But yeah, I rest this at a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think of the movie Ick, or you're intrigued by it after this review. I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Got a lot more content coming. Peace, people.